Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Bannon or Airspeed Prime here. I'm the site super moderator of Avatar The Last Airbender Online.com and also the main host on the Avatar Online podcast. New introduction. Yeah, but obviously I haven't done a YouTube video in a good while. The main reason for that, as I explained in my last video, was because we just started the podcast, as I mentioned, the Avatar Online podcast. So that has been taking up most of the time that I would have spent making videos for my YouTube channel. But I thought it was, with Korra taking a week break because of Memorial Day weekend, I thought I'd put out a video now because my plan is to basically put out more videos kind of once season 1 of Korra is over and there's kind of not as much to do on the site, because at the moment I'm putting up a lot of news posts on the site. Like, I do the episode reviews, obviously planning for the podcast, and actually doing the podcast, uploading it and posting it and stuff like that. That takes up a lot of my free time during the week. But yeah, this is an update video for my channel. Basically, what I'm going to do, I am going to put out a video on basically a review of The Promise Part 2. We're also going to review it on the podcast, so there should be kind of two fun ways to read more discussion on The Promise Part 2. Obviously out May 30th in comic book stores and June 12th from Amazon and elsewhere. Well, regular bookstores. The next thing is that my episode commentaries, obviously I've stopped posting them for a while. I'll start putting them out again. I have up to 312 recorded, as of that's probably 5 or 6 months ago at this stage. So obviously there'll be no kind of Korra references in there since I had seen no Korra by the time I recorded them. I probably will reference Korra episodes once I get around to doing other ones. I will do Korra episode commentaries as well at some stage. Again, this is all planning way into the future. But yeah, the podcast is kind of the main kind of thing. I'm really enjoying doing it. It's kind of it's gone way better than I expected it would ever go, having planned it nearly 2 years ago at this stage, and finally to have it out there happening is excellent. The podcast has 13 releases at the moment. One of them is an interview which was done by the Avatar The Last Airbender Online site admin Jordan. That was a interview with PJ Byrne, the voice of Bolin, and that's a great interview. So I recommend people check that out. And then I was obviously the main host on the other 12 podcasts. 5 of them are regular episodes where we go through, discuss news. We have a specific discussion topic. Topics we've covered already have been The Promise Part 1, unanswered questions from Avatar The Last Airbender, and we also discussed spoilers, how the fandom reacts to spoilers and stuff like that, and 2 other topics I can't quite remember at this moment. And then the other 7 podcasts are Korra episode reviews, basically Korra Roundtable as we call them. And that's basically just, the whole podcast is myself and my co-hosts discussing the episodes in as much detail as possible. And it's really a fun way to discuss the episode, and even just listening in. I've listened back to a few of them myself, and it really gets most of the points out about the episode. And obviously co-hosts that we've had on the podcast are obviously Callum, you may know him as BadgerMole1 on YouTube, Rich or OG Soccer from the site. We've also had Daniel or Atri on the podcast as well. And we'll probably have some more people on the podcast as time goes on. At the moment it's fairly kind of busy because this is pretty much the only break that we've had so far in Korra airing. It's been 7 weeks straight of a kind of having to watch the episode, record the podcast the next day, upload it immediately. So the break has been it's going to be kind of tough, just to wait an extra week for the next episode. But it's nice to kind of calm things down a bit, I suppose. Kind of take in, have a rewatch of all the other episodes. yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say in this episode, this video. Um, Again, please listen to the podcast. You can download it as an MP3 on the site Avatar: Last Airbender Online. It's on iTunes, and yeah, you can just like listen to it on the site as well. Just like clicking the link and listen to it, like streaming it that way. If you have any listener questions for the podcast or topics you would like us to discuss on future episodes, please, you can either private message me on YouTube. You can send them into the podcast email address, which is avataronlinepodcast@gmail.com. The podcast also has its own Tumblr page, which is avataronlinepodcast.tumblr.com, and we have an ask box there, so you can send us questions there. And of course, the site is probably the best way to do it. Is the podcast has its own forum section, and you can send your questions in there. We've had a good few questions in so far, and most people seem to like the podcast. That have listened to it. I really like the discussion, and myself, Callum, Rich, and Daniel really like doing it. And yeah, we're definitely going to continue this on for the foreseeable future. So as I said, I'll probably my videos will probably be pretty sporadic until core season 1 ends. Then I'll probably start putting them out a bit quicker, and I'll see how things go into like season 2 of core and so on. So thank you for watching this like update video, my first video in a while. Thank you everyone who's like subscribed to my channel, and like I apologize for not putting out videos over the past few months. But as I said, you can kind of keep up with like stuff related to me and pretty much the stuff I would do on my channel by listening to the podcast. And the podcast is better than the Airspeed discusses have ever been. So thank you for watching. Bye.